Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for today's edition of The Buzz, the show that keeps you updated on whatever news, beat, or trend that's being talked about on social media. It's a lovely Tuesday afternoon. My name is Patience Bello Kafo. I welcome you to the show. Alero, my partner, is here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Patience. Yeah, it's a beautiful Tuesday afternoon to you, our player. And today's edition of The Bars promises to be an interesting one and also insightful and not forgetting educative too.
And informative, that's right. All right, remember the show is quite interactive. We urge you to make use of all of our social media portals to engage us on the show today. Alero.
Yes, using the hashtag The Bars on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Galaxy TV, and also on Twitter at official Galaxy TV, knowing that you could get to watch previous editions of the program via our YouTube channel, Galaxy TV Nigeria.
And also you can send us SMS using the number 07087407508, and that's the number on the screen, SMS only. All right, we have quite a very interesting lineup of guests this afternoon, and yes, and that's because our topics are quite relatable and very interesting as well. Sitting quite close to me here, it's a pleasure to have him join us. It's someone I've always admired, you know, from afar because of his immense contribution, especially to the entertainment industry. He's a music promoter, a movie producer, amongst other things, a social commentator. Otumba Femi Davis, right here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sir. Thank you for joining us.
Nice to have me captured here.
Yes, we're capturing
you, sir.
Thank you for joining us. And one of our regulars is here on the show today. You know her as a very vocal lady, very articulate. She's a writer, and she's always in the forefront where it comes to activism rather, especially relating to children and the girl children in particular. And she's also a social commentator. Betty Abba is here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
Yes, don't be deceived by her calm look. She's like a tiger inside. All right, and at the other end of the table there, he's making a comeback on the show. He's been here once before, and he's a very amiable person, really judging from his status. You want him to be, you know, like your senior colleague and all that, but very down to earth, you know, and well grounded also in the media industry. He's the general manager of Kiss FM, Mr. Ayodele Kazeem. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you very much for having me.
Great to have you here every time. All right, let's go straight into the show and our first topic of discussion today. We all know that a nation's currency is like the flag, you know, it's its identity, and that's why in so many countries the currency is always very respected and is cherished, but obviously not in Nigeria, because if you've been taking a concise look around, you see that what we have are dirty, mutilated, tattered looking Naira notes. That's what's in circulation, and you begin to wonder what is going on. Even over-the-counter transactions in the banks, and even when you use the automated teller machines, ATM, what comes out, I mean, is the same thing. You have Naira notes that are totally unfit, you know. But why we're bringing this to the fore is because medical experts have gone online to actually talk about this and to highlight the implication of touching and having to keep this kind of Naira note. And according to them, they could harbor pathogenic microorganisms that could be injurious to the human health. All right, so panel, we're looking at dirty Naira notes in circulation. We all spend money every day, you know, we all touch money.
I think when you discussed the topic with me, what came to my mind was the image of bank tellers counting money and having to use mask. I think that sends
a signal,
that it's something that there are chemicals inherent in the Naira note, especially old Naira notes that have been in circulation for a long time. That we really have
and
to
they've been everywhere. You know what I mean?
Everywhere. I mean, everywhere. When I was growing up, I know that our mothers used to put money in their jaziya. Some put them in different parts of the body, and then some people also use their saliva to count.
Oh wow!
And some of these things contain all kinds of germs. So I think the earlier, the quicker CBN retrieves those old Naira notes and infuses the economy with newly minted ones, which will be healthier gas, I think the earlier the better. We have all kinds of diseases. Today is cholera. Tomorrow is which is the latest one now?
Lassa.
No, Lassa doesn't come from money. It comes from rats.
I think, yeah, no, but it's also as a result of contamination. They are contagious diseases, so to say. So I think we really we need like a forum. We need like a system where the Ministry of Health gives out information about such things, so that people are aware, so that people are cautious, because we always say that prevention is better than cure. So I think it's something that, especially now that we have news or we have information that it could be dangerous to health. Something that could be arrested as better.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kazim. No, really ladies first. In recent times, we've actually seen something playing out, which is the blame game. We've seen CBN getting to blame the
banks,
commercial banks, that they're actually at fault, and the commercial banks are still blaming CBN because they actually make money from this in exchange, because some of the banks, commercial banks, get so lazy to count out the dirty notes.
Yeah.
Can I have an addition?
Go ahead.
If you continue to say they blame themselves, then we're not facing reality.
Okay.
The truth of the matter is that banks come up with these bad notes and they put it somewhere, and CBN has the responsibility of disposing it. Do you know that some of these notes get back into the bank?
From CBN?
From where?
How do they come back?
You understand? There are people, there is a cartel whose business, because we must have met them one day. You see a convoy of CBN truck and all that, and they go at a particular speed, and you cannot pass them because they are going with those mutilated monies and all that. So our understanding is that they are supposed to dispose this thing of. Go into a bank today, you will get bundles of what you know. In fact, when you start pulling it out, the only thing they can just say, I can't change everything for you, I can change some. So where is the movement of money from CBN to the bank? Who is trading who? There's corruption in between, and which is what is happening in the larger society.
That's true.
They don't care about the people.
Yeah.
That's true.
And the people too are not conscious of such things.
Yes.
It is only in Nigeria that we buy notes. If you go to Ibadan, we are going towards Ife, that junction, there are some places in Lagos that people sell notes.
For party goers.
Party goers or people
Even around Lagos.
I mean, even the thought of it is ridiculous. You use money to buy money.
Don't say that they don't have those new notes. Those new notes are with people who are making money.
Money from
I had a guest
yes.
from outside Nigeria, and he said, everything they sell in Nigeria, they even sell your money on the street. You understand? And when you go to social events, and you see these people with bundles of new notes.
Means where do they get them from?
So
you know,
there was one that was caught at the Abuja airport or Kaduna airport the other time. Nobody knows the end of that story. Mint notes, running to millions, and nobody's asking questions.
Okay, all right, let's bring Mr. Kazim in.
Well, the complexity of it all still falls back on the fact that we have a major problem with our government. In terms of every unit or arm of government who are responsible for the regulation of some of these demise or things we are facing right now. Okora came out to tell Nigerians that the problem is the problem of the commercial banks, in the sense that they are expected to sort out these funds, send it back to the CBN, and then they in turn will change them and give them the new notes. Banks claim if they send the notes, they will be charged for sending the bank note. Okay, he claims no, that is not the issue. The true issue is the fact that banks don't want to invest
that time,
not just the time,
sorting out the money,
even the personnel of sorting out the money. And then, so that tells us that, just like he said, even when they do that, how does it still get back to the society? So it shows the laxity in every area of this present administration, where nothing seems to be working right. Okay. Where everything just, everybody just does as they like.
They just do as they like.
For me, one of the alarming situations is the first highlight, which is the health part of it.
Implication.
Yes. We realized that, if you recall, say about 2 weeks ago, the health minister was telling Nigerians that this country does not have some certain facilities to take care of some certain ailments, which we all felt that, I mean, since I was a child, they've been giving people polio vaccination and the rest. And you come out openly to tell Nigerians that as of today, in 2018, Nigeria does not have the ability to produce the polio vaccines. Okay, so now we are now seeing all sorts of series of ailments coming up. And then let me warn you, people are not looking right now. We started this Lassa thing all of a sudden. Now, gradually, the number is growing. Nobody is speaking out again right now until it becomes an epidemic again. And then, so let's look at our society in general. We seem to be having a major problem, even in Lagos right now, with the issue of the refuse.
Yes.
Okay, so just as we've spoken, we don't know the circle each money we all spend has gone through, where it has been, who has carried it or touched it or whatever form of ailments may come out of such spending of such Naira notes. And then it just looks as if nobody just seems to care. So I just hope that as this opportunity is right on air now that we're talking about it, some people in their, let me use the word, in their right senses, I apology to those who may see it as a rude statement, will be doing something fast about it. The CBN needs to stop giving us excuses. They need to act and ensure that, I mean, if you want to get the commercial banks to follow some certain policies, you always know when to stamp them down with some certain rules or regulation and all that. What is now stopping you from doing the same when it comes to the dirty Naira notes? You know, for me, the commercial banks are always too greedy. That's also the truth. They want to make money off Nigerians, but they don't intend to spend money or hire the personnel to take care of, yes, ensuring that those notes are removed.
Yeah, that's very true. But aside that, let's also look at the mentality of the average Nigerian, you know, in terms of handling of Naira notes. There is a law, really, you know, on how money should be handled and treated. Section 21(4) of the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Act 2007 makes it a punishable offense for anybody to hawk, sell, or trade in Naira notes or coin. And I do recall, you know, while growing up, there was a lot of sensitization going on then, you know, about you not folding the Naira notes or squeezing it, and, you know, but you arranging it well and doing all of that. We don't see so much of all of those awareness campaigns anymore. But even at that, the older ones that you just assume or expect to know better are even worse off. Why do we treat money, you know, the way we do in Nigeria?
I think my quick answer to that will be awareness, like you say. We need more and more awareness. I'm sure some people are hearing it from you for the first time, that there's even a law guiding the handling of our currencies. And also the fact that people get away with blue murder every day.
Every day.
Otumba here has talked about people that the mysterious disappearance and appearance of old money and new money, those selling, those recycling. They are a cartel. There's a cartel behind this, but they keep getting away. There are no consequences. Someone just came out a few days ago and returned 1.7 billion naira to the government, money that he illegally got as a serving military officer, and he's going to get away with it.
He's gotten away.
He's gotten away.
It's like he has made a reform.
The issue of the abducted Dachi girls. We understand that a few days before these innocent girls were abducted, there was an order from the military hierarchy for withdrawal of security in the area. Who gave the order?
We had that.
What has happened to it? The person will probably get away with blue murder. And so if people know that, okay, I'll spray money at parties, I'll crumble money, I'll put it in my breast pocket or inside my brassiere, I'll put it on the floor where I fry my akara, and nothing happens, of course they'll continue to do that. So it's a matter of people getting away with violating the laws all the time. And if we don't sit up and stop that culture of impunity, we will just continue in a circle.
Okay.
So I think we really just have to sit up and say enough is enough of this thing, and make some people scapegoats so that everybody, the rest of the society, will sit up.
All right, now I'm sure when Patience was talking about something and she brought up the issue of orientation. Now, do we actually have that? We've discussed that like 1,001 times on this program. Our National Orientation Agency, what are they doing?
They are in various states of the federation. They
In
run
air-conditioned
offices.
rooms.
And
They are
they
sitting in
collect
air-conditioned
salaries,
rooms.
and they point out this thing that you are pointing out. They tell you they are frustrated. Their budget has not been implemented. Nobody's approving money, even to buy fuel for their car. Now, do we really need orientation? Yes. Do we need to be informed? Yes. Do the government, do they love us? No. They don't care. I will continue to go back to that fact. There are laws. We were reading laws. I was impressed. They are fantastic. But there are laws. Nakedly, people
Break the
disobey
laws.
those
Yes.
laws. And nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Forget the uneducated who probably out of not knowing misbehaving with the Naira. Those who are aware. Who are those who throw this money at parties? Are they not educated? Who are those? You understand what I'm
They're
saying?
the ones that make the law.
Sorry to even bust it. I
Somebody
thought there
threw
was
money
even
at
there
the
was.
airport recently.
I think there was even a time
Who
they
was it?
said no more spraying of money at parties. But we've seen that come back
You
again.
see, there are some things like that. just
Somebody
like
threw
musical.
money at the airport 3 days ago. Who was
Wow.
Tell me any of the political class who don't do that at the other list. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we need to quickly sort out certain things. There are some things we think is in our culture. Owambe is in our culture. Now you want to put the normal national laws into practice. You need to guide those laws with the culture. Because even the talking drummer, you understand, the area boys, where they collect the money, then do we have a wallet culture? Anytime you travel out of Nigeria, you must have a wallet.
True.
Yeah.
You find yourself using the wallet throughout. But the minute you get back to Nigeria,
The wallet, we keep it. We keep our wallet in the drawer.
it's because of your
Amazing.
because you will need cards, you will need. So for the banking system too, they have 10-story buildings, skyscrapers, doing what? In developed economy, you don't see banking halls. What do you want to do there? Transaction. It's just a machine. Before you must have a major problem, main problem for you to even go to any office to talk outside Nigeria. I'm not talking about abroad. I'm talking about Benin Republic. I'm talking about Ghana. They don't have such, but you will see 75-story building and say it belongs to this bank. Doing what? It's to tax us. It's ATM maintenance fee. The ATM that I'm carrying about.
SMS.
they are the
How
one
do you
maintaining
maintain it?
or even when I don't even have. So we will still go back to our society.
Wow.
You understand?
So
Our
that
culture,
open
our way of life. Beyond government. Okay, let's assume that they don't even like us. Do we like
ourselves. How do we
Now,
comport
do
ourselves?
you know that
Yeah.
banks pay customer fake notes? Confirmed.
Wow.
You understand? So the cartel is too strong for us to just say there are law that it is when government give the right people who love the people the opportunities to serve
be in
the
government. Okay, all right. Our viewers are also not left out in this conversation, and this is a very funny one. AM says if CBN refuses to do their job of mopping out dirty cash from the society, then maybe we should employ Loma to help. All right, Festus from Agege says, my suggestion is that the CBN should print out new Naira notes, especially 100 and 200, to remove tattered ones. Well, in my own little knowledge, I know that you don't just print money,
That's to be
you know,
regulated.
it has to be regulated,
Yeah.
yes, and there has to be like an actual need, you know, before you can do that. All right. Apart from the misuse of money, how about we also talk about the scarcity of some Naira notes in circulation, especially the 100 Naira notes. Yeah, I think that's a good one too. This other one is from John from Okyodo. Nigerians reserved the new healthy Naira notes for commercial exchange to the party celebrants with arrangement of commercial banks. And there's so much more. Well, anyways, we're advised that people with complaints should direct it to CBN's Consumer Protection Department, and that is cpd@cbn.gov.ng, stating the name of the bank. If you Google that, you get more details on that. Because of our time, let's quickly move it along. Our next topic is the legality of Oro festivals. Wow, it's interesting. You know, as a child growing up, I always loved the masquerade, the whole masquerade thing. It's an inherent part of our culture and all of that. But then while doing my own research, I found out that the usual masquerade thing is a bit different from the Oro, if I'm right, the whole Oro thing. Now, anyways, why we're bringing up this topic is because an Ogun State High Court has declared an imposition of curfew on the people of Ikpokia local government area community for observing Oro festival at daytime. Now, in his verdict on the suit filed by Christian Association of Nigeria and Muslim community in Ikpokia against Oro worshippers, wow. Justice Sikiru Owoduni ruled that Oro festival worshippers have no constitutional authority to impose curfew on residents of the community within the purview of that local government and other villages in that area.
Yeah, I guess we'll just need to start with Otumba.
Let's go and see a bit. Otumba, let's see a little bit of masquerade performance first of all. All right, let's take that video. When we come back, we'll take the video quickly.